Hey guys, Nitesh here. Today we're gonna see how you can install macOS on any PC. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, here we are on Windows PC and I have created a small article to follow, a follow guide for you to follow. And here I have written what are the requirements, system requirements, and required files, and a little bit of steps, not little bit, too much of steps to follow. So we'll go through one by one and discuss what we are going to do. So here we are to install macOS on any PC. So let's see. For getting started, here we are using OpenCore bootloader. Bootloader is which loads the operating system, and for macOS we need a custom bootloader because we have to fake our PC hardware to be a Mac hardware. So that's why a bootloader is needed. There are various bootloaders for Hackintosh. Hackintosh is when you install Mac on any non-Apple hardware. So basically this is it. So here we are using OpenCore bootloader. There are many types of bootloaders. So why OpenCore? OpenCore is new and is easier to use and has a very good comprehensive guide, and it is more compatible as compared to other bootloaders like Clover, Chameleon and others. So here we are using OpenCore. OpenCore will give better performance as compared to other bootloaders, and it will require lesser modifications as compared to other bootloaders. And here are my specifications. As you can see, I am using a very old desktop, a 3rd gen Intel Core i3 Ivy Bridge. Motherboard is this, and as a dedicated graphics GTX 1050 Ti 4 GB. So an USB keyboard and mouse. Okay, and as you know, Apple has shifted to Apple Silicon M1 chips and other lineup. So last Mac supported processor from Intel was 10th gen Intel processor. So this guide will only work for 10th gen or below Intel processors. So this is it. Now why OpenCore I already talked about. There are various reasons to use OpenCore. Now let's go through the hardware requirements. As processor I told you 10th gen or below. Motherboard, most motherboards work, but maybe some components may not work, like sound card and other stuff. So you have to take care of that. Integrated GPU mostly will work after Haswell or later. For dedicated GPU there is little complications. Most AMD GPUs work. We'll talk about it in detail later on. Older Nvidia GPU will support, and some of the Nvidia GPU will support up to High Sierra with Nvidia drivers, and it will be up to High Sierra because Nvidia has stopped releasing its drivers. And one thing from my side, it is very recommended to use and spare SSD or HDD, whatever you like. SSD is obviously recommended to install your Hackintosh, because if you install it alongside other operating system on the same HDD, it may mess up with other partitions. Maybe your Windows or Linux installation will not be bootable after that. So it is highly recommended to use a spare SSD. So if you are installing macOS, so let's see what are the OpenCore install guide limitations. Let's go through this now. Oh, I have zoomed it. Okay, it's good for you. Okay, both 32 64-bit will work. CPU requirements already told about. CPU requirements, where is the chart? Yeah, here is the chart for a Pentium 4 to latest version of macOS will be supported too after Nehalem. Just try to know what are the code name of your processor. They're inter-releases with different code names. Mine was Ivy Bridge. So this is it, and yeah, Tiger Lake is unsupported, maybe untested. So these CPUs will be supported. I have provided a link of my whole article in the description. You can go through that. Okay. Now GPU support, as I told you. Maxwell and Pascal CPU with 950, 1050, GTX 950, GTX 1055, Nvidia. macOS up to High Sierra will be supported with Nvidia web drivers. Okay. Nvidia Turing 2050, 1650 or 1680, 2080. All these GPUs are not supported. Nvidia Turing, Nvidia's Ampere GPUs are also not supported. Nvidia's Kepler, older GPUs with Kepler architecture 650, 750 are supported up to macOS Big Sur, and these are natively supported by Apple. You won't require to install any drivers, just like we need for Maxwell and Pascal. So I have a Pascal GPU, so I will install macOS High Sierra in this tutorial. So this is it. For integrated GPUs, you don't have to worry. Most integrated Intel GPUs will work. Okay, now AMD GPU support chart. AMD GPUs are mostly supported, I think. Yeah, just check out to it. Some newer versions of these GPUs are working. Okay, so if you have any of these GPUs, AMD GPUs, it will work. Okay, what is this? Already went through. No, yeah. So this is it. Storage support. Okay, this you can go through yourself. This is not much of a thing. Now let's move to what files do we need. So let's see what files are needed. These are the files. First you need Rufus to create the USB, bootable USB. So just download it from here. I have already downloaded. I'm not going to download it again. So download the Rufus. Then let's open all these. Okay. Just open all the links. Okay. Here, OpenCore. This is the bootloader. We need it. So simply download it. Okay. These are Kexts. Okay. We'll download Kexts later on after setting up the USB. So just leave it now. Yeah, proper tree. This will be needed for a purpose we'll discuss later. Again, SSD time. Okay, I think we're done. We downloaded all the required files, and Kexts will be downloaded later on. So GNSM BIOS, obviously, everything is downloaded. So let's open the folder where we downloaded it. Rufus is already there, as I told you. Okay, just let's extract all the folders we have extracted. Yeah, now we downloaded files, extracted all the files. Now let's start by preparing the USB. So for USB you need a USB at least of 4 GB. Even if it's less, it should work, I think, because in this tutorial we are going to install Mac using recovery files or recovery ISO, whatever you say. So using the recovery system, it will download while installing the macOS. It will download the whole operating system. So for this, at least if you have 2 GB, you can try. It should work, I think, but 4 GB is recommended, and even larger if you are using Mac. Yeah, so here it is a larger USB, 32 GB USB I'm using. Yeah. Okay, so we start Rufus. Just okay, just for remember, select non-bootable. Let's rename it as caps OpenCore. Okay, now start. It will destroy all the data anyways, so be sure that any important data is not there in your pen drive. So let's start. So it's completed. Now close it. Now let's see where the pen drive is. Okay, these 2 files are not required. You simply delete it. Okay, now we have set up the USB. Python will be required later on. I'll tell you. Python, if you are not installed Python will be required to use some of these tools which we'll be using later on. So you install Python, you know already. Go to Python website and download the latest Python and install it. I'm not gonna teach that. Okay, so here we are. Now let's see. Okay, let's get started. Okay, creating the USB, make an installer in Windows. So simply we are going to use Mac recovery. Okay, this tool we are going to use. So simply go to downloads. This is our OpenCore. We go to utilities, we go to Mac recovery. To see, this is a Python file, so you need to install Python before using it. So simply Mac recovery with a pipe. Okay, so here are some commands. Let me zoom out a bit. Here are the commands for installing your preferred Mac OS version. I'm going to install High Sierra, but you can install anyone. The latest version will be Monterey. I'm going to install this, so I'll simply copy this, and now I'm simply going to open the terminal here. Directly paste the command. Python must be installed, and simply run it. It will download only the recovery images, so it won't be larger files. It will be around 500 MB. It won't take much space in your USB. It will take a few minutes, so let's wait. I think download is completed. Simply close it. These 2 are the files that you have to copy to a folder. Let's open the pen drive. Here it is. We have to go. Sorry. Okay. Now we have to create a folder there. What was the name? Don't need. Okay. com.apple.recovery.boot. Recovery.boot. Simply copy it. Don't make a mistake in renaming the folder. Let's create a new folder, paste the name, and now let's copy those files. Simply paste it. This is a very good guide, you can follow it. And here we have to copy a few other from the OpenCore package. Other folders will be copied. Let's go. This is the original thing. This is our pen. Okay. This is for 32-bit system. This is for 64-bit. So we simply copy this whole EFI folder. And simply paste it in the pen drive. Now the root directory, just remember that. Oh, here it is. In the root directory you have to paste. I'll close it. What is this? Yeah, in the root directory you have to paste in the pen drive. Okay, let's make it a bit smaller. Now we have to clean up the folder, so we're going to setting up the EFI. Okay, so here they have marked, let me zoom out a bit. Here they have marked which are the important files, required files for the EFI. So we go in boot, there are boot 664 EFI. Okay, fine. ACPI we don't need to touch because empty. Drivers we only need open runtime. Yeah, obviously we need open runtime. Select all, deselect open runtime, and simply delete. Okay, open runtime. Kexts will fill it up after some time. Resources not required, it's only the images and things that will show when it boots. Okay, here also there only is required is OpenShell and all others are not required. So let's leave OpenShell and delete other. Okay, it's done. And let's check out OpenCore EFI is there or not. Yeah, it's there. So here the work is almost complete. Okay, now we need to work on the ACPI. First gather the files for Kexts and other things. So yeah, this is required. This is already there in the folder open runtime. I told you drivers. This driver is required to recognize a partition. So simply download it. So in folder, simply copy it. Copy it to a folder in the drivers section and simply paste it. Yeah, drivers is done. Now we'll only look into Kexts. What are the Kexts required? Okay, so all this legacy stuff is mostly not required. So even if you have old hardware, I have older 7-8 year old PC, still I didn't require anything. And these are required things. So simply download it. Download the release versions of this release. For graphics card to work, we need this release. Okay, Apple ALC. If audio doesn't work, try this. Okay, now for Ethernet you have to check For example, I will check my device manager what's the Ethernet chip I have. So let's see, network adapters, this Intel, so we need Intel Kexts. If you have other company, Atheros, Realtek or others, you can download the required Kexts for that. I will need Intel mouse C. Okay, so download it. For USB, I am using USB keyboard and mouse, and it didn't work at first, so I had to use USB inject all. So if it also doesn't work in your case, just download it, the latest version. Okay, I think we are almost done. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. Here I am using desktop. I don't require Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, but if you are using any desktop which has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth or a laptop, check out this Kexts, these extra things. Okay, we are almost done with Kexts. Now we have to just copy the Kexts to the Kexts folder. So just close it, all this stuff. This also is not required. Let's close it off. Okay. More cleaner it will be, more easier to understand. So let's open the folder. Here are the Kexts. Okay, here are the Kexts we have. Then we simply just select all these, extract. Okay, here they are. No, let's side by side open also the pen drive, and we're going to copy it to the Kexts folders. So we go to Kexts, I go to Apple LC. We just remember that dot Kext, only dot Kext is copied, only dot Kext. Dot Kext files, you have to think, we don't require all this stuff, only this Kext, only Kext file. Kext file. Only the Kext file. And the Kext file. Let's check it out. All are Kexts or not. Yeah, we are done. Here. We completed the Kext work. Let's see if it's clean or not. Okay, it's clean. Now we'll work for the ACPI. Here we'll start using the tools that we downloaded earlier. So these are the SSDTs in easier way, but we are going to ACPI. We are going to build our own SSDT, and here we'll be using SSDT time. So let's use the tools that we downloaded. Here is the SSDT time. So here we are in SSDT time. So then just like that, we open terminal, we type Python, scaps, sorry, Python, then SSDT time, SSDT t e dot py. Let's run it. it will download a file. Yeah, it's completed downloading. It took much more time that I expected. So here we are. We simply need to run these two commands. First we dump the DSDT. We simply press it, enter. Okay, it's done. Now we simply run one number command. Simply press enter, again enter, and then type 2. Second command, fake easy, enter, enter. It's done. We don't need to do all other stuff, it's not required. In my case at least, you just go through this. If you think you are qualifying for any of these, you go to results. We don't need this DSDT, although it was main file that was used. It has created a few .aml files. These two SSDT ECE and these. We have to copy these files, and it was in the results. SSDT time master, it was in result. So we simply go to ACPI, paste it. This work is done. ACPI work is done. Simply close it. Okay, yeah, SSDT is done. Now there is SSDT the long way and other stuff you can go through, but this is the best practice of doing it. Now go back to the install guide. We are just okay. We did here. You can check out the configs.plist we are going to create for your processor. Which one you have to follow? I have to follow Ivy bridge. So config.plist setup I have to follow for Ivy bridge. So I'm going to config.plist setup. Now here we are going to create a config file. So what it is telling to copy the sample.plist file to our OC folder. Okay, sample.plist file will find. Okay, let's open it. Sample.plist file we find in the OpenCore directory. OpenCore here. In OpenCore downloaded. Here we'll go to docs. Here is sample.plist. Simply copy it. Now here we are in OC folder. Just paste it in the root. We have to rename it at config.plist. FIG. Now we are done. Config.plist, yeah, renamed it obviously. Okay, now we have to edit this config.plist according to our hardware as it is shown here. We have to follow it. Okay, first we need to select our platform. First we have to start the tool that will do this work. So we simply we'll use proper tree to edit the config.plist. So we simply run property.bat file. So as you can see, it opened a new window. Here we have to load the config.plist. So simply click open. Directly is showing the pen drive OpenCore.plist. Simply open it. If it's not showing, you just navigate to this file and open it, config.plist. Yeah, here it is. config.plist. You can delete these warnings if you want. It's not required. We simply delete, remove all these warnings because it's not required. Why I'm doing, I don't know. Okay, we need to collapse all for easier viewing. This work is done. Okay, this is not required now. Now you have to follow it. First and foremost, we need to select our platform. So I am using desktop and I have Ivy Bridge, so I simply select this. Initial this MacOS support. Okay. Let's start working. Let's start working. Let me zoom a bit. For better viewing, I need to set it up a bit. Okay. As it's showing, we need to go to ACPI. Add. Okay. First, I forgot one thing. Maybe we need to take an OC snapshot. First, we do that. It's an OC folder. Just select the folder. Yeah. Now it's fine. Now we are working. Now just collapse all. Now simply open the ACPI. ACPI here. We go to add. So 0 and just see it's showing 0. SSDT plug is not required for my case, but some processors may require SSDT plug, so we'll just leave it like that. In delete, ensure this is enabled. Enabled should be true. Delete in 0, enabled should be true. Just click it, set it to true. In 1 also the same thing, enable should be true. We true it. Now let's go to next editing. Next we go to booter. In booter, what is there? Mio whitelist. Okay. In quirks, just check it out if it matches or not. So in true, false. What is -1? But this is older picture, that's why this little extra things are there. In Apple OS. Okay. Nothing to modify here. Everything is here. So we move to the next. Device properties. It is in where? Device properties. Let's leave it. Booter. In device properties, add PI root, pre-root. Okay. Layout, ID. One is we need to add these two things. So this add any child. Still we have to write, man. Okay. 6-series motherboard is not, I don't have. For this only I will need to set this up. Simply copy it. Let's go to new string. paste it, Control V you have to use, set it to dictionary. Okay, dictionary, and we need to add an item. We need child will add, and what is the string? Okay. Simply just copy this thing here, Control V, set it to its data, and check out the code. What the code is. Use an IGP is used to drive a display. Use an IGP is used only for computing tasks and doesn't drive a display. If you have dedicated GPU is using for display, then you can use this, but I am using a desktop, not a laptop, so my iGPU is sitting idle most probably, but not the driver display. Maybe I will use someday, so I'll use this. It's not much of a big deal here, just be careful. Okay, now we are going to the kernel. Okay, in the kernel, in Quarks, okay, we have to set all these things marked as red to true. Simply set it to true. Custom SM BIOS for Dell and BIOS, so I don't need. But IO mapper, this would be true. For HP, Lapic kernel panic. For HP, I don't have HP. Panic node Kexts dump. Set to true. Power timeout kernel panic is set to true. Third party drives false. Power timeout kernel panic. I did it. Power current CPU info, these are not, only the port limit to true. So we are done here. Now next we go to this MISC debug section first. Apple debug set to true. Set to true. Apple panic set to true. Just go through it. It's 67. Just follow. It's very easy to that. Just follow it. In security, allow NVRAM reset true. Allow set default true. Okay. Scan policy, security only. Scan policy should be set to 0. Disable if required Nvidia's web drivers. So I am using Nvidia. I'll be using Nvidia web driver. So I'll set it as disable. Anybody can do that. There's telling to write disable, but it will be disabled, so focus on that. Disabled, it will be ed. I made the same mistake and my OS didn't boot, so always focus, this will be disabled. And next is what? Vault should be set to optional. So it is here, we did it, complete. Now NVRAM boot arguments. Okay, these are boot as required. You can set it's where NVRAM in NVRAM add The third one, I think. Boot arguments. Okay, debug. Just edit it just like that. Debug equals 0x100 ALCID equals 1. Just enter it. It's done. Previous language, preview language keyboard. You can here set enus as shown here somewhere, I think. Yeah, you can set to enus, but I'll set it to 0. Empty. No, it was empty. Okay, empty. Simply set it empty, so you show the selection of different languages during installation. Okay, platform info, and here we will be required to use another tool here. Okay, for my case I am going to use dedicated GPU for displaying, so I will be using a similar configuration like iMac 13 to 2013's iMac, maybe late. Okay, Big Sur is not supported for me, so I'll be using this. So here, where to go? Platform info, generic. Okay, here we have to edit all these things, so we simply go and use the Gen SM BIOS. Okay, so we are going to use the Gen SM BIOS tool. It's not here, we have to go again to downloads. Where is the Gen SM BIOS? Yeah, here it is. Okay, we run directly the batch file. Yeah, max serial, generate SM BIOS. Okay, generate UID. What we have to do first? SM BIOS info. Okay, we'll be generating SM BIOS. So with SM BIOS and copying that. So we simply type 3, enter. Now I have to type my Mac, so I simply copy this one. Copy it, I simply paste it, enter. SM BIOS has been generated. I simply have to copy all these lines to different things. What is serial, what is that, we'll go through. Type gets copied to product name. Okay, simply copy this product name, system product name, simply paste it. Now it is on. Let's keep it here. Okay. Type done. Serial gets copied to system serial number. Just right click to copy, and system serial number, backspace, control V, enter. Now board serial to MLB. Yeah, so board serial, copy, just right click. Now we go to MLB, control V, enter. View ID, simply just copy it, right click to copy, system UUID, Control V, enter. So this is done. I think this is done. We don't require Apple ROM, I think, but you can try here. I don't think it will be required. So simply type Q and quit it. Okay, this is done almost. Now let's do the last thing. I think UEFI drivers. UEFI drivers 0 HFS plus EFI is there, and open runtime. Both are there, so no problem there. Ignore invalid. Flex ratio should be yes or true in quarks. Invalid flex ratio is false, it should be true. Okay. VFS. Okay, here. What is there? Is that drivers? Now APFS is there. Oh, here it is, APFS. Okay, APFS version. It's both min and date. I'm using high share. I'll be using this. So min date will be this. Simply copy it. Go to min date. Double click, backspace, Control V, enter. Min version. It's not required, I think, but we do it for the sake of it. So it is done, I think. Yeah. Now go to file, save it. So save it again. Saved it. Now you can quit it. Our pen drive is ready. Everything's fine. We'll reboot it now. So let's see. It may take a few minutes to load the installer. So here we are in the installer, macOS utilities. So first we need to use the disk utility and format the disk. So we click it, continue, and then here we select the SSD. We select the SSD, and then after selecting the SSD, it's showing the SSD is 480 GB SSD I am using here. You can use 120 GB also if you want to try Hackintosh. So we need to format it, but it is not showing the whole of the SSD. So we need to go to view, show all devices. See, now we'll be able to see the whole of the drive. So we need to just erase the full drive. So we select the whole drive, click on erase, and we can rename it with any name. I'll write macOS, and then make sure that macOS journaled, as I'm using High Sierra, but Mac operating systems after High Sierra support or prefer APFS format. So take a look at that. Here I am using I'm selecting macOS extended journaled HFS file system. So simply go to that and click on erase. It will be done in a few seconds. Okay, it's done. Now we close the disk utility. Now go to reinstall macOS and click continue. Now here we start the installation of macOS High Sierra. Just agree the process, select your drive macOS, and it will start installing. It will take time because it will download the files and install. It's not inbuilt in the pen drive, as we are using the recovery method of installing macOS here. So it may take a few minutes, so be patient. You can take a cup of coffee in between. Okay, so let's wait. It will take time, a considerable amount. It will take a while actually. After completing, it will reboot. Here, after rebooting, you may need to set your USB as the first priority. Also, you need to disable any secure boot or stuff like that from your BIOS. Then it will boot. Now it will boot. It will show the installer. Okay, it will automatically boot and complete the installation this time. It will again take much time, 10 to 20 minutes depending on your PC. Now it reboots again, and now we are going to boot to the macOS, installed macOS. So here it's booting, and yeah, it's booting up. Yeah, we are in the welcome screen. So here you have to select your location. I will select India. Now we're finally at the macOS screen, and here, as you can see, it's macOS High Sierra. But yeah, graphics display is not working. Its graphics card is not. For that we have to install web drivers, and I'll show you how to do that. So there is no Nvidia card is not working, so we'll download the Nvidia drivers here first. So let's check it out. There is a Nvidia driver installer on GitHub, Benjamin Dobble's Nvidia update. It will automatically install Nvidia drivers. My system is running very choppy because of lack of graphics drivers. It's very laggy. Okay, we need to copy this command and run it on the terminal. So we copy it. Copy it and let me just quickly do it, run it. Yeah, it will download and install the drivers, latest drivers. So just fast forwarding it. Okay. Driver installation is complete. Now you need to restart your system, but this time again it will boot from the pen drive. Pen drive will be required. Don't remove it when you restart. So we'll restart it and coming back again soon. Just wait a bit. After coming back, I've opened browser and we have to boot without using the pen drive. No, who will just keep the pen drive always plugged in to boot to macOS? So to boot without pen drive, we need to copy the EFI folder of the pen drive to the original macOS installed drives EFI folder. So for that we are need an EFI mounting tool. So here we are going to download Clover configurator. It has a good EFI mounting tool. For that we are downloading Clover. Don't fiddle with any other settings, it may mess up your EFI partition. So don't do anything, just run the Clover configurator as I am showing you. It will show warning for security purpose. Just open it and go to mount EFI and just select mount partition. Give your password you set and EFI partition will be mounted. Just click on open partition. Here you will have EFI OC. So simply we're gonna copy over all these files. Just don't remove Apple part. We go to boot. You simply copy the boot folder and paste it in the EFI folder. Then we go to OC. We simply replace the OC, whole OC, with this OC, and done. Now your Mac is fully ready and it will work without using your pen drive, and it will boot and work perfectly. Okay, now you restart and it will boot without pen drive. So this is how you can install macOS on your PC. If you like the process, do leave a thumbs up, and if you get stuck in any of the steps, do leave a comment in the comment section below. So this is it for today. Signing off, Nitesh Prasad.